So this practice will incorporate some gentle movement, some meditation, and then a writing practice at the end. So if you need to grab a paper and a pen or pencil, just something that you can write with, you're welcome to pause the video and go and grab those things if you need them. But we're going to begin with some movement. So you can come to your yoga mat, and we'll start in child's pose. You can bring your big toes to touch. Your knees can be just a little bit wider than your hips, and then walk your hands out, extending your fingers towards the floor. If possible, place your forehead down to the ground, maybe even using a pillow or a block to support your head if you feel like that would be helpful. And to start, just let this pose feel somewhat receptive. So letting yourself be here for a few moments to begin that process of settling into your body, just settling into your practice. And really invite yourself to receive the support of the ground underneath you. You might choose to let your head gently rock from side to side. And where you feel the contact of your head into the ground or any support, let that serve to soften the space around the hinges of your jaw, the cylinder of your neck, letting there be some ease and release around the shoulders and shoulder blades. And if it's available to you, you might choose to deepen your breath here, but only breathing into your own capacity. And to start, you might even follow the pathway of inhale to exhale, and really attuning your attention to that movement of your breath. And in this practice today, we'll explore what it means to use our practice and to feel into our bodies as a place of sanctuary. So as a place where we can go to quietly reflect, maybe on all that's happening in our lives or even just in a day. It's a place where there's no roles or responsibilities, kind of pulling our attention. There isn't a list of tasks or to-dos that we need to attend to. But in this child's pose, allowing ourselves to be in kind of this deep forward folded position, really allow that gesture of your body to inform, right, this idea of turning inwards, of going in. And take a few more breaths here. And if your arms aren't outstretched in front of you, you can start to crawl your fingers more towards the top of your mat, maybe kind of even inchworming the hands forward. Start to find some extension along the sides of your waist. You can root your hands forward and down so that your hips sink towards your heels. And then on your next inhale, you can find your way up to tabletop, bringing the shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. And we'll start to bring a little movement into the spine here. So as you inhale, you can let your heart move forward. Tailbone starts to lift up towards the ceiling, and you find a deep extension through your spine. Now press down into the hands and start to round your upper back up towards the ceiling, maybe the middle back and lower back as well, letting your tailbone drop towards the heels. Good, and then keep this movement and breath going. Just a few more rounds here. Inhale, heart moves forward, tailbone lifts, and then as you exhale, round your spine, drop your chin to your chest. You can move at your own pace. And then come back to a neutral position. You can lift the lower part of your legs, so your feet and your shins. And you can shift your lower legs over to the left. And then you're going to press your hips back towards the floor. You're kind of getting a little bit of stretch through the right side of your body. And then feel the action of pulling your hands towards you as you come back through center. Let your feet, your shins come over to the right, and then press down into your pelvis. Send your hips back. Feel maybe just a little side stretch in the left side, and then feel the hands draw towards you as you propel yourself forward. And you can just shift here from side to side, so feet, shins move to the left, hips press down, and you can start to coordinate that movement with your breath as well. Maybe the exhale presses the hips back, and the inhale you feel this sense of kind of rebounding forward. Do that a few times. Again, moving at your own pace. Notice if you can keep the movement going in your body at the same time. Let your breath be fluid as well. So breathing in and out. Good, and then the next time you come back through center, we'll pause here. You can turn your toes under, and then we're going to walk the hands in. And you're going to come down onto your heels. Find a little squat here, taking your feet wide. Palms can come together. If this is too much flexion for the knees and for the hips, you're welcome to sit on a block or a couple blocks if you have some pillows as well. Pause for a moment, pressing the hands together. Upper arms press into the knees. And even see if you can feel the sternum move towards your hands, towards your thumbs. Good, and then reach your fingers behind you and come all the way onto your seat. I'm just gonna move forward and then face you here. So you can bring your right shin in front of your left, just a simple seated position for your legs. And then bring your fingers out in front of you, just loosely interlace your fingers here. Press the palms of your hands away from you, and then find that rounding through your upper back, kind of like you did in that cat pose earlier. And then reach your arms up overhead. See if you can press the index finger up towards the ceiling, and then lift the ribs away from the pelvis. Stretch up. And then as you exhale, sweep your arms kind of into these cactus arms, and then draw your elbows as if you're trying to bring them to the space behind you on your lower back or to your mid back. Good. And now reach your fingers back behind you, clasp your hands here, and you can stretch your knuckles down and towards the back of your mat. Pull the shoulder blades together, soften the front ribs in and up. Good. Bring your arms back forward, loosely interlace your fingers, press your palms away from you, and you can feel a little rounding through your upper back here. And now reach the palms of your hands up towards the ceiling, really pressing through the index finger. Draw your ribs in. And then take your elbows out into these cactus arms. And then draw your elbows as if you're trying to move your elbows together behind your back. Reach your hands kind of on a diagonal and then clasp your fingers here. Stretch your knuckles back, feel your heart lift, soften the front ribs into the body. And we'll do that one more time. Interlace your fingers, press the palms away from you, slight rounding through the upper back. Reach the palms of your hands up. Good. Make those cactus arms, bend at the elbows, and then draw your elbows as if you're trying to pull them behind you. Good. Reach your fingers down and then interlace your hands. Lift up as you press your knuckles back and towards the floor. Good, and then release. Turn back to face this way. You can rest your hands on your legs here. And then just a simple twist to the right. So left hand can come to the outside of your right leg. Right fingertips come back behind you. See if you can feel the ribs, particularly the left side of your ribs, moving towards the right. Inhale through center. Change the cross of your leg, so opposite shin can come in front, and then twist to the left. And come back through center. Do one more thing here. So walk your hands out in front of you. You can root your hands forward and down, and as you do that, you might feel your lower back round slightly. Sacrum drops down, and then you can inch your fingers forward here, folding over your legs however far you can go. And then walk your hands back up. Good. So we'll move into the meditative portion of practice. In this meditation, you're welcome to do seated. You could be seated in a chair, on the floor, or if you would be more comfortable, you can even lie down on your back. Right. So you can make the choice that best serves your body today and your energy level. So once you've decided on where you'd like to do your meditation and you have your paper and pen or pencil handy, we'll get started. And I offer you a writing practice that uses your non-dominant hand to express this idea of sanctuary and what it means to you. And so the premise is that by writing with your non-dominant hand, you access the non-rational part of your brain that can create a wider field for possibility to emerge. I use this technique often when I feel like I'm getting in my own way, or I just need a new perspective, or I'm in an unproductive state of mind. And I'm often surprised at what messages appear on the page when I do this practice. So come to a place that feels comfortable for you. And if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, do so. And if not, you can just allow the outer corners of the eyes to soften their focus. So you take more of a narrow gaze with your attention. And as you close your eyes, or as you find a sense of stillness, feel your attention being drawn across the threshold of your outer world to your inner world. And follow your breath and attention as it expands from your inner body to your outer body. And then let your attention move to the space behind your sternum. You might even imagine the space behind your sternum. And let that be a place of inner sanctuary and retreat. And you might feel this space rising and falling with the flow of your breath. And if you'd like, you could even place one hand to your sternum just so you have that kind of location through your own body and to create and carve out a deeper connection to that space. And then imagine this abode of your heart becoming a chamber of light. And let each breath begin to magnify this light. And let it illuminate you from within. Begin to call on your imagination and creativity to allow any images, colors, a particular mood, or any impressions to reveal themselves as to the nature of this inner sanctuary. And see if you can let the details emerge without worrying about whether it's right or wrong. And trust the process unfolding. And fully presence yourself inside of this sanctuary. And you can stay for as long as you feel compelled, maybe even stopping the video if you want to linger a little bit longer. And so taking one last moment to Really feel that impression of your inner sanctuary, of what feels true. And begin to let yourself slowly traverse the terrain between your inner world to your outer world, and carrying any emotion, image, or sensation or impression back with you. Gradually allow the eyes to open. And then finding your paper and writing utensil, take a moment to describe what you experienced during the meditation using your dominant hand, including any details that feel significant to you. Now, if you feel like you have more to write here, then again, this could be a place where you pause the video and you continue in this first step of the process. Otherwise, if you feel like that first step is complete, I want you to imagine your sanctuary has its own voice. And then using your non-dominant hand, record the message or insight that your sanctuary is offering you at this time. Don't overthink it, and just trust whatever you feel emerging on the page. And then take a moment to let yourself absorb the message that you received. Be noticing your reaction to it. And because you've had this experience of embodying, what it can feel like to create an inner sanctuary for yourself, Perhaps you now have just that deeper connection, a clear image, right, of what this practice can be for you. Thank you so much for your time.